Welcome back to Swan Dive, a Spire campaign by the savage Godlings. Last we met, old friends, we were introduced to our ministers of our hidden mistress, operatives of Drow liberation in the High Elf-occupied, mile-high tower city of the Spire. Our friends, Gertrisa, the wizened Carrion priest, Willow, the precocious Aelfir inksmith from the north, Sinette, the magnanimous medic and midwife of Perch, and Oren, the hardened laborer and firebrand of the Red Row. Alongside Nimvile, our ministers received word from their handler, Magister Nocien, that a mysterious force has begun to occupy the fringes of religious society in the Spire, threatening to revive an ancient forbidden sect of high elf worship known only as the Forefathers. Their primary lead, a deacon seeking power in a secret archdeacon election quietly beginning to be whispered about in the seediest of gossip mills. One Heralds-the-Sunrise. The cell has gone their separate ways, agreeing to meet at Spitz's on successive evenings for information sharing amongst themselves. And Nimvile has disappeared without a trace. Come with us to discover fragments of truth and meet a new friend this week on Swan Dive.
Okay, guys, welcome back. Today we are, of course, joined by our new member, Hunter Allen. Thank you for joining us, my friend.
Howdy. I'm very excited to get in on the blood.
There's going to be a little bit of it.
If it's not up to my nipples, I'm going to be disappointed.
Hey, we didn't get to say my new name, my full name. I just said, hey, can
I mean, if we're getting nitpicky, I go by Hunter J. Allen, but I don't want to get nitpicky or anything, so I'm not going to say that.
I'm going.
Can I get a spelling of that, just for the record?
I swear to God, guys.
You told me he wouldn't bully me. He knows I can't spell.
So this is my good friend Hunter J. Allen. My good friend Hunter J. Allen, who is also an illiterate.
Yeah.
He's managed to make it quite a ways in spite of that.
It's a challenge at this point.
I mean, he's playing RPG.
Man, you're overcoming it.
We're so proud of him every day.
I just had to dictate the book to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I was so stressed.
Like a miracle worker sort of situation. Mm-hmm. He holds my hands under the dice.
Spire.
Spire.
Is that okay?
I don't think
That's
so.
Our brand
Is that
humor. Is that okay? Can we? It's okay now. We got to set the tone right. We can't set the expectations wrong. All right.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
All right. Let's just jump into it. Right. Let's do it. Let's not piddlefoot about. So we're gonna move to a late evening. Immediately after our last meeting, after our group agreed to meet back after they had gathered more information on Deacon Sunrise, some sort of mysterious figure involved in the next archdeacon vote, and also connected to the general target of our particular cell, the Forebearers. So, we find ourselves on this evening deep in the heart of the works, the industrial heart of the Spire, a place of pumping machines and factories, cranking out the first industrial goods perhaps on the entirety of Destera, powered both by Aelfir strength, Drow-pledged labor, and galvanic technology from far in the east, from the human arcologies and the ancient Protocados technology that they plumb to power their prodigious rise to the top of Destera and the rest of this world's societies. It is a dingy, dark, soot-covered, cult-infested, labor-rich district. And I believe Willow is finding a little bit of information. Would you like to take it, miss?
Sure, yeah. I mean, that pretty much sets the scene. I think she's just kind of wandering some back alleys, kind of looking for some conversations to listen in on. Sort of trying to fade into the background, this being,
generally mysterious.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you are noticed. You hear footsteps.
Oh, sorry, what district did you say we were in?
We were in the Works.
Okay.
You are noticed from behind. You can hear footsteps to some degree, and you hear a whistle, something like a cat call.
Yeah, I think she just kind of keeps walking, but kind of quickens her pace just a little bit, and her hand just moves to her Derringer pistol underneath her coat in preparation, but otherwise does not acknowledge these footsteps.
Come on, little miss, slow down! You're in a bad neighborhood. I can take care of you. His voice kind of echoes off the walls. You can still hear in the distance kind of vague machinery noises and distant footsteps, but the city is quieted.
Yes, we don't seem to be in particularly the most hospitable of neighborhoods. That is why I find myself in quite the hurry to get home. Thank you though, sir.
Well, then let me take care of you, sweetie. Come on!
I assure you I can take care of myself. Thank you, sir.
And you hear him start to pick up the pace, and you hear a boom, boom against the side of the wall. And if you peek behind you, you see he has some sort of club, some sort of shillelagh, and he's popping it against the bricks of the building as he's walking. I don't particularly like being ignored, especially when I'm trying to be so nice.
And I think Willow turns around and whips her gun out and just points it at him. She says, and I don't particularly like being pursued after I've politely tried to turn you down. Now please, leave me alone so I don't have to use this.
And I believe someone sees this little encounter from your patrol route, from however you've envisioned yourself moving about. Do you feel like you move in at any point here? Or are you waiting to see how it plays?
I think so. Yeah, I picture this happening in a sort of a very what's the word I'm looking for? Not what's shallow, but like in forms of the horizontal. Like a very, very close, tight corridor type of alley. Very cramped alley, but it goes up. So like a mix between a shanty town and the movie Metropolis.
Perfect.
And there's all these fire escapes and poles and wires and such. And I think, I spy this young girl getting accosted down in my territory. And I don't much take a kind liking to it. And I unfurl a bright red noose from the various ropes amongst my person. Is this where I can sort of like start like taking action?
Oh, absolutely, my friend. Take the reins.
Yeah. Well, I see. It's just the one fella I see.
Yeah, it's definitely just this guy, and you are probably observant enough to tell this guy's probably a little tipsy or something like that. Big, heavy. You're from the Works, so you can tell he's probably a laborer or something like that.
Okay. I think what I'd like to do is from up on high, amongst all these fire escapes and different sort of pole-like structures, I would like to see if I can get my little lasso noose around his neck and just sort of drop with my rope around a pole and just sort of like a sandbag in a theatrical production, just sort of rise him while I drop.
Hell yeah.
Just buoy him up. Absolutely.
I'm gonna musketeer this motherfucker.
Yes.
Oh, welcome to the campaign, Hunter. So this is the opening move and the first time we ever see Griff. Could you give us a description before you make this roll for me?
Yeah, absolutely. I think at first, what Annie's character sees is what Willow sees is just this sort of red streak, just sort of dive out of the sky. Attached to this long red cord, as you also see the assailant in front of you sort of disappear, sailing upwards into the air, hands clutching the rope around his neck, and you see fall to the ground, not super gracefully, but definitely with a practice effort. And what you see in front of you is this definite person-shaped figure shrouded in this amalgam of what looks like if you spliced different parts of a voodoo doll to a rag doll, just like half of it is like tatters and rags that are stitched together, and half of it is lengths of cord wrapped all around the body, with a face being covered on the lower half by a red bandana hanging down over the mouth, and the eyes being covered by these lengths of cord with 2 red X's crossing over the eyes. And he's just hanging with these ripped and tattered cords and strings, and looks like definitely a gutter toy, if you would.
It's Spider-Man.
Yeah. And he ties the length of cord that was wretched around the neck of this assailant. He ties it to just like a nearby pole or pipe or something, and he looks towards Willow.
I feel like she's still holding the gun up to where she had it pointed at that previous guy. She's just sort of like shocked and standing there, and as he landed, she was like, "Oh, Sister Spring, what the hell?" Like just sort of freaking out. And now she's just sort of like looking at him in disbelief. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, sir.
You hear come from this also this rather short individual. I'd say about like 4'5". You hear come from this individual. No fear, citizen. He answers to justice.
So he is you? Is that what you're trying to say? You
answer
to...
No, he, I mean, no, he,
Who's he?
Like he, and he's pointing up to the guy hanging, like still struggling, kicking his feet. Tell your friends that this area belongs to the Red Snare. And you see him bound off of the different fire escapes and just sort of clamber upwards.
Okay, wait. Before you run away.
And he falls. He definitely falls. This is good. This is good. He falls. He tries and then he trips and he falls on his back. Ah! Ah!
Oh dear. Are you okay, sir?
I'm fine.
Do you need assistance?
No. I assist.
Okay.
And he gets up. His pride definitely hurting.
Oh no, that's perfectly. It happens to the best of us, sir. That's fine. I won't tell anyone about your little tumble. That's.
Okay. Let's make a roll really quick to see how well you snare this guy. Because I'm fine with just giving you for free that you managed to snag him and pull him up, but
yes.
Let's see the quality of this.
Keeps him.
Exacamundo. So do you have the fight skill?
Yes, I do. I do have the fight skill.
So you have at least 2d10? Okay, do you have the crime or the low society skill?
I have domain. Both.
Boom. So you can only get one, but that means you get 3d10. I presume
awesome.
you don't have any knacks or
taught
mastery.
How to use this dice bot.
Super simple. You just type an exclamation point, and since you have 3d10, it'll be exclamation point 3d10.
8 and 5. 8.
Fantastic. So you pick the highest dice. There's a flat success curve, and an 8 is a full success. So congratulations. Yeah. So you tie him up. He's fully in your control.
Awesome. I mean, I don't think he even has a second thought about the assailant. It isn't that he thinks like, oh yeah, he's completely trapped. Like there's nothing he can do. It's just that he does it, and he's like, in his mind, he's like, oh man, that was so sick. Oh, that was so cool. I did that.
100%. Okay, so were you still trying to escape again?
I mean, I fell half because it's probably an accurate character choice, and half because you wanted to establish a thing.
If you want to stick with that, I'm fine. I think it's hilarious. But I mean,
actually, she said something that I wanted to glom onto. She said, "It happens to the best of us," and you can't see through the mask, but you can detect an aura that his there's a little tear that comes up in the corner of his eye. He's like, I'm definitely the best of us. That's just me. That's just what I do.
Well, I'm sure you are. I am sure. What did you say your name was again, sir?
The Red Snare.
The Red Snare. My, I like the sound of that. Why, actually, I think that I'm part of an organization that could perhaps use somebody with a skill set like yours. You looking for work at the moment, my friend?
Yeah, you could say that.
Well,
yeah.
Come with me. I've got a friend named Miss Nocien I'd love for you to meet.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's rad. I like that. Yeah, you and me, let's get it.
Let's hit the trail, brother man.
All right, he just I think he he doesn't quite know how to, in this getup, just sort of like nonchalantly walk. I think he's doing that. He's doing like a little more depth version of what Kronk does in the Emperor's New Groove, of like just like clinging to walls and looking both ways and doing hand signals that no one can interpret.
Yeah, Willow's just kind of like confidently strolling forward with like her chin raised a little, like just her regular walk. Barely, like not even checking back to see if he's still following.
And are you just gonna leave that guy hanging up there?
He didn't. As soon as he got snared, like he completely went out of his mind.
He's just
didn't give him a second thought. Like he is just there.
Yeah, and I feel like Willow just like looks up at him and then just like looks away and then keeps walking.
Come on, you assholes! No, come on! Don't leave me up here!
Hey, let this be a lesson to you. I bet it doesn't feel so good feeling trapped now, does it? Maybe you won't do that to others in the future.
Oh, yeah, hold on. And he like takes a very practiced stance where like he puts his fist on his hip, and he points up very accusatorily to the assailant. Let this be a lesson to all you gutter trash. The Red Snare runs this part of town.
Yeah, you got this.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was good. What you heard him. The
Yeah.
Red Snare.
Fuck you, you weird little asshole!
Well, that was just rude, and I hope you take some time to contemplate your manners up there.
Yeah, manners.
Good day to you, sir.
Please.
And he just kind of continues to mutter as you guys make your way down the hallway.
Yeah, so okay. I think we open on this dingy old room in one of the abandoned manors peppering Ivory Row. It's lit only by, I think, a single fireplace at the end of this long meeting table and occasional electric lights hung from single wires dangling from the ceiling, with external wiring just kind of obviously retrofitted onto this older mansion, just like running along the walls. And yeah, I think Gertrisa is just she's sitting at the end of this table trying to look imposing with her dog sitting beside her. And who else is here?
Me. So I think you're I think right now we're right before everybody else has arrived, right? And I think you were gonna chat with Corval for a little bit.
Yeah. So I think Corval's sitting at her left hand, and she's just sitting silhouetted against this fireplace, petting Belvin.
So, you said you had some contacts, is that correct?
Well, I have certainly seen a couple people around working for Wynn, if that's what you mean.
Excellent. Anyone especially vulnerable that I could, using my means, get in touch with, if you know what I mean?
There's definitely one asshole I can probably see you taken care of.
Probably a good time to mention Corval, just a repulsive man. disgusting.
Oh yeah, an absolutely slimy bastard.
Yeah, just a grave robber. So I just feel like he's always a little slimy. His hair is probably like shoulder length and just always clumped and gooped. Definitely a drow. And yeah, he's just like never dressed even remotely close to anything close to formal. But one of those guys that blends in.
Yeah, totally. My image for him is like, you know, the VHS like how to like guide to grave robbing video.
I don't think I do.
Yeah, there's just like this awkward dude with like really bad acne, like who does the whole thing, and it's like from the 80s, just like that's what I picture Corville looking like almost.
Hell yeah. Nasty 80s pimply rat bastard who robs graves.
Yeah, exactly.
He kind of rings his fingers together.
So, I think I know one guy who's, well, he's not exactly someone somebody's gonna miss, per se, if you catch my drift.
Oh, perfect. What is his name, dearie?
Listen, he's one of those shithead druids. Seems like he left Derelictus. Worked in the heart with the Redcaps for a while. Yindwell.
Oh, excellent. And where can I find this Yindwell?
Goes by the Curb Druid. Definitely makes himself known around Ivory Road, doing offhanded work on people's spiral gardens, but seems like he's a drifter. Typically, the only thing you can, spot him by is he's got 3 mega corvidae. Uses them for rentals for tourists, helps out the kids chasing the sunlight spots here and there.
Oh, excellent. You really are such a dear, Corval.
And I think she pulls out a mint and gives it to him.
Oh, God.
Oh, thank you so much.
And he just like grabs it and just bites through it like a grape. And I feel like he has repulsive teeth. Like he's just craggy and like, worn down. Yeah, just bites through like a fucking grape and just like just eating glass. And just, starts to stumble away to his wing of the manor.
Oh, children.
And I feel like around now, you guys managed to find the address of Catrice's squatting location, this giant, decrepit, ancient mansion, this manor. Is there a gate, Catrice?
Yeah, I think there is like a rusted old gate. The lock is long since broken, so it's just kind of hanging off by one hinge, just swaying in a non-existent wind.
Nice. So you guys make it past through, this little ill portent, and make your way to. Okay, is there a locked door? Is there like just an open hallway you stumble through? Like, what is the manner of getting into here?
Oh no, none of the doors in here are locked. People just come and go all day from the building itself. The conference room is on the 2nd floor, I imagine, with I think one of the only functioning locks in the entire building.
Okay, hell yeah. So yeah, are you gonna greet them? What's your plan on meeting your guests?
I think I just see Corville out, and then whenever the other. I just go back to my seat and wait for the other guys to show up with the door still locked.
Okay. All right, Oren, Sonette, you arrive. What's your plan here, Stans?
Cool. Yeah. Do we know like what room to go to, or is it just kind of like, here's the address?
What do you feel like you told them?
Yeah, she's a polite lady. I think she told them.
Sweet.
What room it would be.
Yeah, I guess just kind of speed walk through the manor and then make our way up to the conference room I think Orange is going to try to open it first. And then, once it's locked, obviously, he'll give a little knock.
Oh, I'm sorry, dearie, it's locked.
Okay. Should... Oh, yeah, we'll
just one
wait.
moment. Hold on. Just one moment.
And yeah, you hear these very rapid, however faint, footfalls as she just kind of waddles up to the door. Yeah, after a good 30 seconds of waiting, you hear a and she unlocks the door.
Cool. Yeah, we'll open it and kind of
This is a very large estate you have here.
Oh, it's not mine. I just live here.
Well, either way, not doing bad for yourself.
Oh, you're too kind. Why don't you have a seat?
Does it matter where? Should we?
Jeanette just chooses a chair and sits down.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, just plop down.
Can
next
I
to
get
Jeanette.
you any tea? I have. Well, I was baking some pastries over the fire recently. If you wanted any of that.
Yeah, I'll take a pastry, and then
I
I
would
think he
love
kind of.
some tea myself.
Yeah, and I think she had just in a kettle over this fireplace, just a tea kettle, and right underneath that, just a pot with these nondescript pastries, just masses of dough hardened by the fire.
Taketh of the dough balls.
Yeah, she hands a dough ball to Oren, and she pours a cup of tea for Sinette, and she hobbles up to each of them and gives them their refreshments.
Thank you.
Now then, to business.
I assume that you invited us here because you had a plan for gathering information.
Why, yes, I do. An acquaintance of mine, a sweet young lad by the name of Corville, he has recently let slip some information about an employee of a fellow landlord on these parts by the name of Archbishop Wynne.
I see. Continue.
There's a druid by the name of Yindwell, who has been known to make the rounds in Ivory Row recently. He gave me instructions on how to find him, and I believe that this individual is vulnerable enough that we could extract some information from him, either by fear or by pain.
I see. So, what does this individual Yindwell have in connection with the Basilica?
And I think this is a thing we should establish out of character, just how Gertrisa knows how Archbishop Wynne is associated with the Frontrunners, or the Forebearers.
The Forebearers.
Yeah.
I don't know if necessarily she would know that Wynne is connected to the Forebearers necessarily, but I do think it's a really logical connection to hunt for his underlings to see if they have information about the rest of his underlings and about the rest of his kind of going-ons as they pertain to the Forebearers. Because as we said, the other sort of mystery is that there are rumors that there is going to be another vote for Archdeacon. And the thing is of course there's still Archdeacon Wynne. So his position on it is sort of ambiguous.
So I think there's just a little bit of a silence before she says,
Let's call it a hunch.
Not sure I like that.
You can trust Teresa.
Well, I guess it can't hurt. Fine, I'll go along with it.
Excellent. So where are we going to find this guy? And what's our plan, do you think? Are we going straight to whack at him, or should we try the whole confrontation in a spooky alley thing, or...
I find people are more stubborn when backed into a corner.
Yes, I've found in my own line of business that people tend to be more cooperative when there's no visible means of escape.
Yeah, so alley works for me.
Would somebody like to give me a hunt roll to move forward to see how effective your quest for Yindwell is going to be?
Shit. I have.
Everybody got
oh
a
wait,
hunt?
do you mean pursue?
Pursue. Dang it. Yes, that's the one.
This is high society, right?
We are in Leo. Yes, we moved to Ivory Row. You were correct. High society and crime.
Could we make an argument for Ivory Row also having a low society tag just because of how like run down it is?
No. Yeah, low society is just very specifically to be like labor and working class.
Yeah, no worries. I was just wondering if I could finagle an extra die out of there.
Not this time, Buckaroo man.
Fortunately,
Right,
I got a
Bada
10.
bing, bada boom.
Sweet Jesus Christo! I think you managed to spot the Mega Corvidae pretty quickly. And I don't think anybody here is particularly unfamiliar with Mega Corvidae, right? Big, giant crows you can ride. They're not particularly good at taking people up, but they can take people horizontally really well. And yeah, you see people, especially people in the Sunlight Collective, which of course is this roving group of poets, madmen, and artists that pursue these shafts of sunlight that arc through the Ivory Row through this roving band of windows that adorn the sides of the walls of this part of the Spire. A magical enchantment unreplicated anywhere else in the rest of the building. Yeah, but I think these three Mega Corvidae, end up becoming pretty easy to spot. And yeah, you see a druid giving something like one of those shows you see like for our Texas audience, like out on 6th Street and stuff, right? Like people contorting themselves into backpacks and shit or whatever. I think he's doing something very similar, but he's doing some tricks with his crows, sort of like catching, throwing balls up, and they're catching the balls and throwing them to each other, and people are kind of giving light applause, kind of doing some magic tricks and like, pulling coins out from crow feathers, fun stuff like that. Probably has, 10 or 12 people gathered around him watching this little display. Yeah, you can see he's sort of a tall, lanky Aelfir, masked in like a silver mask that's half split at the horizontal middle point, matte on the top or in the bottom half, and like glossy and metallic on the top half. All of it's sort of silver. And you can see that the matte portion has very subtle little patterns on it, but no eye holes or anything. And yeah, he's just dressed very plainly in like a black vest and a dress shirt and some dress trousers. And you see that near him, kind of resting in the distance, is not a hulking man, but a decent-sized guy, very clearly eyeing the crowd around him. And you're probably near, at this point, maybe a simple cafe kind of a couple feet away, and maybe kind of like a strip mall where that's like half dead. There's a bunch of just empty buildings, but alive is still like a cafe, and sort of a rundown haberdashery.
Yeah, okay. So I think while taking this scene in, Gertrisa leans over to the others and says, "Now, follow my lead, and I'm going to use an ability."
Awesome.
So I'm going to use Murder of Crows.
Oh, sick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
So mark a D3 stress to mind or blood. I'm going to do blood. I think, so in fiction, she pulls out a pocket knife, which she cuts into her hand, and she lets out a cry of pain, just like a that throughout this neighborhood is joined by near identical cries of as crows just start fluttering in from unseen spaces until eventually they're just flooding around this area that the show is going on in.
Okay. Fantastic. I think you saw the results of our rolls here, which make this a particular situation. What are you attempting to do with them?
Essentially, I'm just attempting to create a distraction.
Okay. Yeah, easy peasy. Okay. You definitely create this distraction, no problem. Take a minor blood fallout.
I did not take any because my blood protection is 4, so I took 0 stress.
Oh, never mind then. My roll was meaningless.
Yeah.
You're perfectly fine. The distraction is cast. Continue, my friend.
Yeah, so, I cut into my hand, and these crows just start swarming in around this druid with his, mega crows. And, I think she just kind of stands there and looks expectantly at the others.
I'm sorry, what? Oh, God. Oh,
Big guy first. Big guy
Big guy.
Big guy
I
first.
guess Big Oran's just gonna take off running with his hammer. I think.
Sick fucking nasty. What are you gonna do? Big guy, you can't really make him out through the crows and the crowd that's freaking out and all that good stuff, but you can definitely still tell the direction he was in. No problem.
Well, that in mind, I might head for little guy first. I might try to make my way through and try to find the druid.
Okay, yeah, totally. If you want to give me a pursue, and tell me which you're gonna focus on, and I think, you'll be able to find either.
Yeah. So we're in what, high society? And
crime.
Perfecto.
Oof. Okay. Give me
Is
a
there-
D.
Is
give me
there
a
any...
D3 reputation damage? Go ahead. Stress.
Oh, I was just wondering if there was any way I could assist him in this, but since the roll's already made.
Okay. I'm good. I've got 3 reputation protection.
Okay, fantastic. Luckily it goes away. Man, my terrible murder rolls. I rolled 2 1s for the audience at home, but luckily our protection has saved our players. So let's go ahead. You managed to find whichever one you were looking for.
I'm going for the druid. Is he... Yeah, so I guess I'll burst out of the crowd and just kind of pause and take stock of what he's...
Yeah. He is definitely collecting his mega corvidae, and you can see he's kind of trying to ply through the crowd and kind of swatting crows away. You see his crows are like attacking and like eating the smaller crows, and you can see that they're trying to get their way to that larger guy. You can see in the distance.
Okay. I'll kind of... fuck it. I'll shout out to him. I'll just be like, hey, buddy, you want to get away from all this shit? Follow me.
And he whips around. Yeah, give me a compel, or whatever the compel equivalent is. It is still compel.
It's still compel.
That's the only one I get, and I second guess myself.
9.
Oh. He adjusts his mask, and you can see the big guy finally makes his way through the crows. He turns around to that big guy, kind of gives a pointing gesture, and he follows you, wherever you take him.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm gonna take him to, probably just like a nearby alley, and as I'm running, I'll just kind of like raise my arm up. I imagine Oren's a pretty tall guy. Raise my arm up and just kind of like give a little whoop and just do like a whistle to kind of signal the others as to where I'm at and kind of where I'm headed.
Yeah, and I think as they're walking there, Gertrisa gets in position in this alley.
Sinet, before when everyone starts running their direction, Sinet will step in front of the guard. We could have made a plan, but no, we have to wing it.
Oh. I feel like he just tries to push
tries to. I feel like he does what I do. He just sort of like tries to push straight past you. Just kind of doesn't acknowledge your muttering.
And I'll give him a good punch to the face.
All right, Sinek, clock his ass. Give me that fight.
Yeah. Boop.
And would you say that my crows are assisting in this? Okay.
Hey, that's some bad roll.
Wow. I'll give Bob this plea. Just give me an extra D10.
Yay, an extra roll.
I'm a benevolent god.
Mm-hmm. Fuck
Hey,
There we go. You're welcome, Taylor.
Woo.
That's what we're talking about. All right, give me a D3 plus 1.
2, so plus 1 is 3.
Oh, fucking Christ. Yeah, you forearm clock this guy. Tell me how you... Yeah, take the reins, my friend.
As he reaches his hand to push past me, Sinet grabs it and twists it behind his back, and then spins him around and punches him straight in the face. Like, both of her right arms straight into the middle of his face, breaking his nose probably.
Oh, yeah, you can definitely feel that nose go soft underneath your fist. Crumple it like a bird nest, and, yeah, he's struggling. What are you going to do? You going to push him away? You going to keep wailing on him?
I'm going to... Let's see, what do I want to do? Let's go ahead and, I'm going to use my foot and kick him back into the crowd so he gets tangled up with other people.
Yeah, into the crows and the people. And okay, yeah. I think that's one more fight.
Yeah, one more fight. Is it still 3?
Yeah, we still got them crows. I'm not going to give you guys this forever, but for this sake.
Yeah, I feel like it works situationally.
Yeah. Just for what he's trying to do.
So 6, so at a cost?
Absolutely. Give me a D3 shadow stress, please.
2 shadow. And I do not have any protection.
You're going to be just fine. Yep, you are just fine.
Nice.
Neat.
Alrighty. So, yeah, you managed to pull all that off. You shunt his ass. He stumbles through the crows and goes, bumbling into a crowd of people. You can kind of hear him go crashing and people trying to catch him and all that good stuff.
And, yeah, then Sanet's gonna chase after the others.
Yeah, and I feel like they separate. Yeah, you managed to do this stealthily enough that, yeah, I don't think the other guy notices as they slip him into this alleyway. Okay, so what are you guys doing?
Yeah, so as soon as this dude as soon as this dude stumbles into the alleyway, I'm going to sick Belvin on him and just try to have my big ol' hyena dog gnaw on this man's leg.
Sweet Jesus, this poor guy.
As we're getting to the alley, I think Orin's gonna drop back, just stop and be like, "Go ahead, I'll watch the back," and turn around. And once he passes him, he's gonna spin back around and just kick him in the back into the alley, just to kind of give a little push into Gertrisa.
Yeah, Gertrisa, roll that fight roll with an extra dice with master.
All right. Oof.
Damn. Yeah, so you kick this guy in the back, but, yeah, Gertrisa, when you sick Belvin, he manages to get a knee in and knees Belvin in the chest, gives like that whimper and kind of goes stumbling off to the side for a second. And then whips a small blade, like a literal small sword, from a sheath, and whips it up, into point. What in the world? And points it at Belvin and goes to stab Belvin.
Fuck. Yeah, I think. Fuck it. I think Gertrisa's gonna dive right into Belvin and either try to push him out of the way, or if she can't do that, at least take the hit for him.
Yeah, she can definitely do that. Give me the evade equivalent. God damn it, I'm terrible.
Evade.
Resist.
I don't. It's resist.
Oh, there is no.
There is no
It's just.
Yeah.
That's right. It's kind of concealed under the pursue umbrella in this one. Sorry. So yeah, give me a resist.
That is 1d10. Boom!
Woo!
Nice.
Max, cool. Yeah, you push Belvin out of the way with a surprisingly deft move for somebody your age, and you manage to dodge the blade as well. The situation is under your control, Gertrisa.
Yeah, so I think she's gonna sick Belvin. I feel like this is a maneuver that Belvin is used to enough that, like, he recovers well enough that she's able to just sick him right on this dude again.
Oh yeah, and she like snaps to sick him, right? That's like her symbol.
Yeah, she just snaps her finger, and he knows. Fuck. Or do I still have that assist from earlier, or no?
Unfortunately not, just because it involved that shunt.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could give me did you take stress from that last one? I don't think
I
you took
didn't.
stress from that last one. Okay, so give me a D6 stress from that and a D6 stress from this, both in blood.
Both in blood?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
actually, first in blood, second in reputation.
Okay, so that first one I only took 2 because I still had 1 more blood protection.
Okay.
And the second one, D6 reputation, you said?
Yes. Yes, reputation. Nice.
Okay. So I think
do you have
I
any
have
reputation resistance?
Let me check. Yes, I have 2, so I took 0 from that.
Okay. Unfortunately, you did take a blood fallout. So I do think that you managed to you did manage to get Belvin out of the way, but I think as you begin to snap away, he whips the sword up the side of your cheek and draws some blood in it. It manages to kind of cover one of your eyes. So any like perception rolls or anything involving kind of spying or paying attention visually for the rest of the situation will be done with difficulty.
Okay.
I think from behind, Orin's gonna try to just do a big ol' overhand swing onto this guy's sword shoulder. Like whichever arm he's holding the sword with.
I also think Sinet has just arrived behind them after having dealt with the guard.
Sounds like perfect timing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic roll. All right. So yeah, that's unarmed damage. Just give me that D3.
No, it's a sledgehammer.
Oh, you literally hit him with your sledgehammer.
Yeah,
Give me
yeah.
that sledgehammer damage.
Doink.
Donk. Yeah, man, you feel that shoulder go soft underneath your sledgehammer and slides far further down than it should. Yeah, I mean, you could probably see, some breaking of skin along, like, the fucking trapezoid, trapezoid. Yeah, that's the muscle, trapezoid. Yeah, along his traps. I mean, you absolutely tear the sledgehammer into him. And, you see, he essentially, it screams out kind of gutturally and collapses against the wall, like shivering, looking like he's about to passing it. It looks like he's about to pass out.
Good goddess, I thought we were trying to question him, not kill him.
Well,
Oh, don't worry, Rich.
She's gonna give a little whistle command to Belvin, who just kind of happily takes his leg, just like chomps on his leg and starts dragging him to a more secluded location.
Yeah. And he does it. Yeah, and you all watch him. Watch Belvin. How big is, like, in terms of dogs, what, like a Saint Bernard? I don't know how big.
Yeah, I've always imagined, like, they say he's a hyena, right? But I've always imagined him being, since they're like, holy hyenas or whatever. I've always imagined
fantasy
them,
hyena. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always imagined them being like larger. The way I've imagined it is I've imagined them essentially just being quadrupedal gnolls.
Okay. Yeah. That's an interesting thought.
So yeah, just like about like roughly people-sized, I guess.
Yeah, so you see a roughly person-sized hyena dog clamp onto this guy's leg, and he continues to scream, but gets dragged further down the hallway or alleyway.
You know, Gertrude, that doesn't get any easier. Ugh.
I mean, first just launching off like that, leaving us to pick up some pieces, and then just enough of that. Sick that dog off of him. We're not gonna get anything out of a mauled man.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know me.
Yeah, she snaps her fingers again, and Belvin just like lets go of him.
Oh, sir, I am so deeply sorry. We just wanted to talk to you in private, but it seems we've clumsied that one up a bit. Let me look after your wounds a bit.
Please. And yeah, you see, I mean, yeah, it's clearly like his clavicles and like his shoulder blades have been just pulverized by that swing. And yeah, like all the muscles along the clavicle and the traps have just been like, absolutely fucking shredded.
Yeah. And so, Sinette's gonna walk over to him, start putting some hands over the wounds, and, well, she's first gonna start with the leg. And she's going to use her spells that help sew up wounds with magical spider threads.
Now then, Sinette, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have some questions to ask first.
You can ask
do
it
that
while I fix his leg.
We can fix his leg as a reward. Don't you think that would be fun?
Jesus.
Oh,
God.
He will
Mother
bleed
Winter.
to death.
He
You can
won't
do
if
things
he...
your way. I will do it mine.
He won't bleed to death if he cooperates now, won't he?
Please, I'll cooperate, please. I beg of you.
All right.
It's okay, sir. I will heal you as they ask the questions. Please just answer them. I will not...
I'll answer your questions. Just get the fucking old lady away from me.
Lauren, can you take over the questions?
Yeah. So, listen, man. First of all, sorry about the shoulder. I hope you understand. You hit my friend with a sword. Second of all, so we heard you're Yindwell, right? Am I saying that right? Is his name right? We have a few questions for you. A friend of ours told us that you might have some information. Maybe you might have heard some whispers about, what's his name? Deacon Sunrise? Is that the guy we're asking around about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You might have some information about a Deacon Sunrise. We've been told he might not be going by that name. You know, there might be just any kind of new guy that's popped up on your little freaky religion scene.
New guys? What? I'm a druid. I don't know what you're talking about. I do work for winds, certainly, but I don't know anything about this sunrise fellow.
Okay.
Gertrude is out of sight right now. She just snaps her fingers again, and you hear another snarl from Belvin.
Yeah, if somebody's looking to make a compel roll, now's a good time to use that for mastery.
Yeah, cool.
The roll I made was for my healing spell.
Perfect. Okay, awesome.
Okay, so
it does
since
heal an
Since they're
amount
an
of
NPC,
stress, but it's
since they're an NPC, you're good. Yeah,
Okay.
you're good. We'll just say you're doing the surgery as you go.
I got a 9 for that compel.
Okay, fantastic. Oh God. Okay. Look, Wynn hates these guys too. He's looking for any information people have on Sunrise and his merry band of freaks. Look, if you really want to see him, just go to mass.
Okay. You make a fair point. So, what are the chances that, your old master, employer, whatever, however it works, what are the chances he might just sit down and have a nice conversation with us? If we tell him, you know, hey, we hate this guy. We heard that you also hate this guy. Would you like to tell us about this guy?
if you let me go and you don't harm me any further, I could maybe put in a word with Wynn, and maybe we could pull some strings or something, and we could figure out a meeting.
Okay, that works. Or if, you want to make a trip down to, where we hang out once a week or so to give us some information. Either way, if you can't arrange the meeting, what we need is information more than anything.
Uh-huh. Well, Wynn is certainly in the business of keeping an eye out for Sunrise, especially with all the weird rumors flying around. So, if you promise not to kill me, I can give you some information.
Sure. Is that cool with you, Katrisa? Is that cool with you?
Yes, so long as you keep your end of the deal. But don't worry, my dear Belvin has your scent now, so let that be a little incentive.
Oh, Mother Winter.
You'll be alright, man. She's only mean most of the time.
I feel like around then, Sonette's wrapping up.
Yeah, getting to the shoulder. Now, don't put too much weight on this arm, it still hurts. And don't do anything stupid so it doesn't happen again. As she pushes her finger into the arm just a little bit.
Ooh. Look, I'm gonna give you guys this information, but I think you're fucking with the wrong guy. Sunrises. He's making people disappear.
Now don't you worry about us, young man. Now run along.
And yeah, I think he kind of limps up to his feet, kind of takes one good look at the rest of you, and then, just takes off down the alley.
Well, wasn't that exciting?
That's one word for it.
Stressful, more like it.
Okay, let's move our way back to our good friends, Willow and the Red Snare, as Willow shows our new friend into the heart of the operations of their particular cell, Spitz in Derelictus. It's, late evening, like a 2 a.m., 3 a.m. kind of thing, but I don't feel like Spitz ever really closes. Spitz's, and you can probably make your way through the open door of this cafe to a shadowed Gregory behind the counter.
Well, hello there, Gregory.
Hello.
I have a friend that I've brought back with me to perhaps assist in our clandestine organization. Could I perhaps have access to the back room once again?
Is he also terrorist?
Well,
hold on
friend.
now.
Are you a terrorist? I don't know.
That is a very loaded moniker.
Well, he doesn't mean it in a bad way or anything. You'll see.
Oh no, he means terrorist in the good way.
He means he means it in a rather neutral way, in a rather textbook definition way.
Neutral.
What is the textbook definition of a terrorist?
One who commits terror, I'd assume.
Just someone who does terror. Yes.
Yeah, Gregory knows.
Yes.
All right, then I guess on a technicality, I'm a terrorist.
In the back room, little terrorist.
I don't know who the FBI are, but anyway, this is my friend, the Red Snare, Gregory. I'm awfully sorry he didn't take the chance to introduce himself. But...
Don't worry. I trust. I will send word to Nosian.
Well, okay then. We will wait in the back room. Thank you very much, my friend.
Gives you a curt nod.
Right, yeah,
I give him the exact same curt nod.
And I feel like he just holds your gaze icy Slavic stillness, like a polar bear for a second, and then gives you another curt nod and exits through the back door.
All right, cool. Yeah, I follow Willow.
Yeah, and you guys managed to find yourself into a really, really, really dingy little back room, almost like one of those. Like if you imagine a room where a bunch of mobsters are playing poker, right?
Oh yeah, just smoky.
Small round table. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Walls that aren't lit correctly.
Low hanging lamps.
Exactly. You get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And Willow closes the door behind you
And yeah, you guys are alone for a moment.
Yeah. And yeah, I feel like she takes off her mask. And she's like, don't be too shocked at me demasking here. I'm not from around the Spire. I honestly think it just sort of impedes my breathing.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah. He says that, but he does not make any effort to take his mask off.
That's okay in your own time, brother man. You don't have to feel pressured to demask just because I am. Honestly, it was just getting a little bit steamy up under here. I just hate running for too long with it. Ugh. It's a little bit stinky in here, too. Now, I'm going to take a seat at this table and wait for our friends. Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself, friend?
Oh, okay, I guess. And he takes a seat down. And now that he's kind of like a little disarmed, he, as he's talking, he starts taking off his mask, which is kind of a lengthy process because it's half just coiled rope around his face. So he's just standing there unmasking like the Invisible Man, just taking off these like half the size of bandages corded rope. Yeah, so I guess we're doing this terrorist thing. Yeah, my oh geez, I've never done anything like this. My name's Griff. I was just sort of looking over my quadrant while when I saw you getting accosted by that ruffian.
Well, I do thank you for your assistance in that matter. I don't know if I'd have the opportunity to properly thank you for that quite yet.
Thank you. I'm really trying to get some more experience in, so that was a good opportunity. Thank you for almost getting accosted.
Well, you're welcome, I suppose.
Sorry, that came out wrong. Hi, let me start over. Hi, I'm Griff. I do this. I do this.
That's it, Griff? You just help young ladies who have found themselves getting accosted in back alleyways? You sort of swing down with your little red rope and you throw it down around people's necks and you sort of fling them about and then sort of stammer around awkwardly? That's your whole thing, Griff?
And by now you can see like a good portion of his face. There's like little thin tuft of blonde hair like poking out and from the different rope pieces, and he's got these bright green eyes, and he's got these freckles, and his skin's like rougher than you would imagine for how young he looks. You can tell he's like pretty like say like 17, 16-ish. And as you're describing what he did, as you're describing very accurately exactly what he does, of just sort of helping people and then having absolutely nothing like important to say about it, you see him like kind of blush. Like, I mean, it's a little more complicated than that. I stopped a bank heist last week.
Is that so?
No.
Oh. Well, I do appreciate your honesty in the matter, I suppose. That's a worthy trait in someone, especially in a comrade.
Comrade. Oh, thank you. That I don't really know what I'm doing. I felt, if I can be honest, I just felt compelled to do it. You ever feel something like that where like you just get so mad that you just have to do something?
Well, brother man, you have no idea. Why, all the time, I believe that's one of the most natural feelings a sentient person can feel.
From the shadows, the one, the only, long, black curtain of hair, cloak and tunic the same, Nocien steps from the shadow of the corner of the room.
Ah!
It's okay. Did I miss anything, Willow?
Being spooky sort of her thing. No, you didn't really miss anything, Nocien. This is my friend, Griff. I do believe he'd be a valuable asset to our here organization.
Huh. Griff, you say? Kind of
hi.
Scans you up and down.
Griff here saved me from a rather unpleasant little back alley confrontation I had with some scoundrel, some lich in the back. Oof. Anyway, he was rather industrious with that little rope of his.
So, you're a noble young gentleman, are you?
I don't know. I wouldn't go that far. I mean, I just, I kind of help. I like to help. That's what I do. I help. Hi, I'm Griff.
It's nice to meet you, Griff. It's good that you like to help people. Just so happens, the little organization me and your new friend here are a part of also enjoys helping people.
Oh, wow. That sounds good. I'd like to do that with you guys.
Well, Griff, I think you can. But could you also keep a secret?
Ooh, I mean, his eyes just absolutely like light up. He's like, oh yeah, I would definitely keep a secret. I'm really good at keeping secrets. This is all like cloak and dagger and stuff. That sounds really cool.
Kind of, as you're muttering, eyebrows kind of flatten out in sort of exasperation. Yes, it is extremely cool. Griff, whenever you're not helping people, what are you doing?
I kind of just met y'all. You all.
You're fine.
Okay. I'm a courier for the and look, I know how it sounds. I'm a courier for the furnace.
Why?
Yeah, I know. It's a rag. I know it's trash. I get it. Like I know, but like, I gotta make a living somehow.
Why, no, I have to say, Griff, reading the furnace is one of my guilty pleasures.
Really?
Why, yes, and I do have to also mention how getting a piece of my writing published in any old rag has been a dream of mine ever since I came here to the Spire. So if you have connections in that direction, then...
Oh yeah, well, maybe I could I could I have like a little power. I could, it would be nothing, like I could just sort of,
Yeah.
This is me on Tinder dates during my internship.
It's not much, but I'm kind of like, I wouldn't say a big deal, but like a bit of a big deal.
Okay.
It's like looking in a mirror.
Christ.
That sounds trustable. You just saved me, earlier today, so...
I mean, let's be honest here. Let's look the situation in the mouth. Like, you did have a gun.
Yes, I did. Yes, well, any lady who travels by herself at night, it's not like I plan on using it or anything anytime soon if I don't absolutely have to, but it's nice to just sort of have it as the threat.
Okay, yeah, no, I understand. So we were talking about some super cool covert ops stuff.
Oh, yes, Miss Nosian, I definitely did not mean to impede on your whole thing here. I will let you resume to take over. My apologies.
No, it's fine. Yes, Griff, there are something of covert operations that our little organization enjoys partaking in. And your connections to the furnace should prove to be a valuable asset to us. And Griff, you seem like a smart boy. Have you put it together who exactly our little organization is?
Well, to be honest, I mean, I don't... is it okay to say it out loud?
We're the ministry of our hidden mistress, Griff.
And he looks around like very panicked as like he hears that noise. Or as he hears that name, he like looks around, like looking under the table.
Yeah. Don't worry. This is a safe place. One of the few, and the only place you can say it out loud.
The ministry of our hidden mistress. I just had to get it out. I just really had to,
It does build up. It does build up, I understand.
Yeah.
The ministry of our hidden mistress.
You sort of think it all the time, and then you write it down in your journal, and you're like, well, I don't know if I should even put this in writing. So you burn that page.
It is tantalizing.
And you're like, well, that doesn't even...
It is tantalizing.
Like you wouldn't even think about saying it that much if it wasn't allowed, but like...
Exactly, it's
you
the
think about it so much.
It invigorates you. It just makes you want to say it.
Okay, don't make me go back on this.
Okay.
Now, Griff, your connections to the furnace.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you could use them to assist us in a little investigation our cell is going under?
Sure. What kind of investigation?
A broad one. We're investigating a rumor that there is something of unrest in the solar basilica above. That Archdeacon Wynn is on the way out, and there's a vote upcoming for the next deacon.
I think I could figure something out, actually.
Any information you can offer? Griff, welcome to the ministry.
Sweet.
We're gonna cut on to the next day. I presume Willow and Griff kind of go their separate ways after he's been inducted. And it's nighttime, so you guys gotta sleep, of course. And the next day, Griff, it's time to go to work, my friend.
All right. Griff definitely wakes up. He, like many other sort of abandoned little wastrel boys, sort of just sleep where they can, which in the sort of I imagine the works. I think I described it earlier as being this halfway point between the movie Metropolis and a shanty town. So just this like compounded on top of each other, old, almost ancient, just industrial, definitely buildings, but look almost like just weird archaic structures. Like, oh, what purpose does this serve? Well, there's 5 lean-tos on it. I guess that's the purpose it serves now.
Yeah.
So he wakes up on like a rooftop or in the gutter or something. Just like with his big thick pack filled with rope, and he scrambles up, checks himself to make sure he's all secured, make sure there's no stray knife wounds or nobody took his kidney again.
Classic.
And starts trotting over to the newspaper district. It had a name, I thought.
I think it's the printing district.
Yes, the printing district. Somewhere around there. Yeah, and he goes up into. Tell me if this differs from your interpretation. I imagine the printing district is like this one massive brutalist building with all of like different newspaper syndicates working inside the same like monolithic building.
I'm down. They have to rent and fight for space on the printing presses themselves. And
Kafka-esque series of maze-like hallways to get to each different sort of room.
Okay, yeah, no, that works for me.
Yeah, and he sort of like worms his way through these hallways that he's treaded a good amount of time, and he goes to where. He goes to the area run by the Furnace.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty decent. I mean, Furnace isn't the biggest newspaper, but it's definitely well circulated. It's a tabloid. Yeah.
That's what I would like. I'd imagine it's definitely more well off than the more truthful newspapers.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
More lucrative business peddling the bullshit.
Oh, definitely.
So I feel like all the secretaries and sort of the support staff of the Furnace are probably pretty used to seeing you come and go. So I feel like they don't even give you a second glance, like the guards and such. Probably like 1 or 2 guards. They're probably a big enough operation to be able to afford that. Not city guards, but like hired help,
Yeah, absolutely. I think half of them don't pay me any mind, and the other half that do pay me mind, the mind that is paid is of, I wouldn't go so far as to say disgust, but something in a lighter ballpark.
Yeah.
Because Griff is definitely filthy. Griff is a filthy boy. He's a filthy little newsies boy. But I go past where. Something we haven't decided that I'd love to see your input on is sort of the I guess hierarchy of how Griff goes about his job, like where he where he functions and like how in the hierarchy Because I know he's definitely at the bottom. He's a courier. But then where would... I guess would he go... Where are we going, I guess?
Probably check in with his personal assistant. It's probably his... Like, your consistent place to get the majority of your work. You know, just easy stuff. Run this bag to this building or, you know, run up to this district. And you pretty much just scamper up and down the Spire all day.
Yeah. So I definitely, like, go over and check out my sort of workload for the day. Fill up a rented from them satchel that they take out of my pay, of course. Yeah. Definitely. And it's just this ugly, like, it looks like the bag that people got when they pre-ordered Fallout 76 and not the one they ordered. You know the one? The nylon? Cheap, shiny yeah, the cheap, shitty nylon one. It definitely looks like that. And I grab it and I, like, have it. And then I ask, is he in? Is the boss in? Mr.
I feel like this guy's probably an Aelfir. The shortcut hair kind of glances up from his paperwork. Yes, he's in.
Oh, thank you. And I go in. I don't even knock. I think, like, it's knocking would be implying that I have
presence,
something of value and presence.
Yeah.
So I just sort of, like, not sneak, but, you know, sort of seen not heard my way into Mr. Gunterzaun's office.
Yeah. Mr. Gunterzaun, he's one of the editors at the Furnace. Again, it's a decent sized newspaper, not the biggest, but big enough to have multiple sections. Yeah, he is of course the editor of, oh man, I gotta pull it up, the shocking scandalous scintillation section, right?
A name I'm sure he's so proud of.
Oh, absolutely, that is his alliteration. Just sort of like a rumors section in a rumors tabloid. So, you know, the most scandalous of scandalous garbage they can dredge up. And yeah, he's definitely behind, like, a titanic behemoth of a fucking desk. Just massive. Clearly carved from some magnificent light wood. And you know, just absolutely hulking. Dominates 90% of the room. And behind him, also hulking windows, peering out over a massive portion of the works themselves. Steam and soot billowing out of massive pipes and all that good stuff.
Just a big power office.
Exactly.
All right. I guess, oh shoot, how would he go about this? I suppose Griff would I guess he would go in and I know. Griff goes in and he notices as he does every time that there is a sort of there's a decanter with very nice glasses and a little tin of ice with the little tweezers or the tongs, and he starts making and pouring a little glass of what have you in it for Mr. Gunterzaun, and sort of brings it over to him as a sign of a sort of placations, if that's a word.
Yeah. No, I mean placating him. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Absolutely, I love that image. And yeah, I feel like he just takes it wordlessly and sips.
And I look over his desk, and I very, because I know how delicate of a situation this always is, and how much of a tightrope that Griff walks. He very, not under his breath, but quiet enough that Mr. Gunterzaun could very, very purposefully choose to interpret it as under my breath, sort of subconsciously of well, the streets sure are hopping about that new election for the deacon.
Yeah, it's all the rage in the Roman mills.
But they'd love to hear about it.
It isn't official yet. It wouldn't be right if we don't have better sources, yeah?
Where would one find better sources for such a thing?
Finally cocks his eyes over at you.
And what would you be interested in such a thing for, huh?
Just looking out for the readers.
Well, that is interesting interest, yeah? I think the obvious place would be someone on the inside, in the Solar Basilica. There is no solid information of Archdeacon Wynn stepping down. He kind of creaks back in his chair, and you kind of see like a rueful smile begin to cross his face, and he's not looking at you, kind of looking past you, and you can tell you've probably flicked some switch on in him, like some storyteller instinct. It is wildly interesting, though, that the rumors are getting out that such an election is still taking place. It must mean that the lower interests in the election have begun to make their moves. Briberies, parties, etc. I think the easiest way would perhaps be to find one of these little soirees, yeah? See if you could find someone secretly campaigning. Are you looking for a secret lead, my little one?
Oh, shoot, oh man.
This is all in character.
Is Griff good at this, at this, tongue-in-cheek subterfuge? I think, Griff, like, he like cocks his eyebrows in a way that he's only ever seen in like adventure rags that he's picked up along the way, and he tries to remember a line from some just some trash novel that he's read. You know me, always looking for trouble.
Just stone quiet. Yeah, I suppose you are. Just like a few silence of Griff just mugging his fucking brains out. It's just a stone cold Mr. Guntersound.
Like his face just looks like an emoji, like
like a Jim Carrey, like a Jim Carrey face.
Yeah.
Do you need something else, Griff, or was you just going to pull that weird little face at me?
I think that's all, sir. I'm gonna do my rounds.
Good. And be careful with that brandy. That is for Paladin in Amarant, who is a vital possible lead. Remember.
Thank you.
Be subtle.
And like the only cool thing he's ever done, he very subtly just winks at him as he's leaving.
All right, I'll give it to you. All right, now you have to roll to be cool to wink. Okay, fantastic. Let's move over. Willow, do you have any specific ideas for what you do during this morning before you meet up with everybody else? Or
I mean, I was thinking Willow might be semi-familiar with the Solar Basilica area, since that's also the same area that the High Elven University of Divine Magic is in.
Sure,
that she previously attended. I was thinking maybe she would just go to like a nearby, like maybe like a place that she knows that perhaps some Solar Basilica members would frequent, and just like sort of hang out and just listen for a while, maybe see what she can overhear.
Okay.
Maybe like a bar or something, or just like, I don't know. See, this is so nothing too specific.
Mm-hmm. I think, I mean, Solar Basilica, most your Aelfir, I think, not all, but a good chunk are going to be worshipping Solar Pantheon, so in terms of, like, I think you'd have to be more specific as to what you were looking for. Because, like, if you were looking for, like, clergy talk, I don't know where it would be appropriate to go listen to clergy speak on, you know what I'm saying? Like, to eavesdrop on clergy. Pretty tight-lipped individuals, generally, I feel.
Yeah.
And they're not going to go to bars and stuff, I feel, just for general
that's
clergy.
where I was.
If you don't have anything, it's okay. We can just jump forward to when you meet up with everybody else and just save Willow investigations for later when you have some ideas.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, if I can't come up with anything, then yeah,
Yeah, no
I'm
problem.
sure like Willow also in character is sort of at a loss.
Exactly. If you don't feel inspired for anything, don't force it for Willow will not know either.
In
Okay.
I feel like maybe she does like go and she just like
Spire.
doesn't know what to do and helplessly like sits at a bar for a second and like sees if she can overhear anything, but just overhears some like pointless conversation about like operas. And it's just like, well, this is fine, I guess. This is okay. Well, I'm doing research.
I tell you, if you do not appreciate the form of torture opera as performed with traditional
Eyes just
northern
widening.
technique.
Continue.
Just general, up Spire garbage for Malefear. And then your fruitless search leads you to meeting up with good old Gertrude, Oren, and Sonette.
To herself, I feel like on the walk back, she's like, well, I feel like maybe I got in touch with my culture a little more today. That's fine.
And I feel like there's probably some space in between when you guys got done dealing with Yendwell, and between now, whenever you guys were gonna meet back up and then go and make good on this meeting. So yeah, do we want to explore Sonette? Do you want to explore some time in Perch real quick, or do you want to save that?
Perch or the midwives?
That's what I mean, the midwives.
Midwives.
I presume, because there's like, I presume there's midwives all across the city, like in every major community.
It's very structural. Like, if you're a high-class midwife, you tend to stick with a single rich family. If you're mid-society midwife, you tend to do the standard incubation.
Like house calls?
Yeah, the place where they keep all the eggs. Stuff like that helps the entire community, stuff like that. And then low society is a little different in a way. They tend to they do look after eggs, but it's more of a they're more of a caretaker of the community rather than just the eggs.
Of course.
So that's what Sonette is. She's more of a low society midwife. So there might not be a very big chapter of the midwives in the Perch, but there's probably a presence.
Yeah, no, I'm good if there's only like 7 or 8 of you.
Yeah.
And that you obviously actively work with the community, but there is a brood that is collectively tended to. And I feel like it makes perfect sense if you want, in the meantime, before you meet back up, to go talk to Yendwell and follow this audience with the Deacon. I think, it works for me to go.
Yeah, let's go get
some
see what the midwives have picked up from, well, everybody.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So take it away. Tell me what your experience going into the brood is like. Like how you see it.
Well, let's see. First, she leaves the company of Oren and Gertrude with a quick goodbyes. As much as I love accosting people in alleyways, I have some more matters to take care of elsewhere. I will see you at, what was that bar called? Spitz? Yes.
Well, you're welcome to join us anytime.
I would love to. Yes. And she goes off to the Perch. Perch, ramshackled place strapped to the side of a giant tower, thousands of feet up in the air. She enters through probably some hole in the wall. Wind starts to tousle her hair, and then she enters the Perch. I don't know. I think the Perch is like a community. It's like we all have nothing, but we all have each other. And she goes through, everybody knows everybody. So as she goes through, she stops every once in a while, talks to people. I mean, it's what she does. She's here for her community, her family. But eventually she gets to a particular ramshackle building amongst other ramshackle buildings. But this contains more of a meeting place for the Order of the Midwives that reside in the Perch. And without a single word, she steps through the door.
And I feel like it's closer to the wall this building is.
Yeah.
To me, I kind of imagine Perch as like the less money you have, the closer you are to the edge.
Yeah.
Or like the less important you are. So I feel like this is quite possibly like the most important building in this community. So I feel like it's probably almost flush to the wall. Like it is because shit falls off Spire all the time. Like some buildings are poorly made. Yeah, right. And they'll just plummet off the side of the tower.
There's a giant pipe that sticks out that people will hide under when it starts happening.
Oh yeah. And isn't that pipe? Or maybe I'm thinking of something else. Yeah,
I mean, on top of the pipe is like a giant bar, and then underneath it, people will hide if anything starts falling down onto the Perch.
That's right. It has the giant bar. There's another thing nearby Perch where it's like the only exposed part of the Vermissian line, which of course for both listeners and Hunter, who may not be as familiar with the lore of Destera, the Vermissian line was this attempt by Aelfir and human engineers to create essentially like a magical subway system that went up and down Spire and into the heart. But then the technology sort of went insane after they pierced the heart itself. And now the Vermissian still partially exists. It can still be partially mapped, but it snaps in and out of reality in different ways, and it's warped, and it changes things, and it drives people insane using its components, and it contains all of these latent magics that aren't really fully understood.
Hold on. When you say a vertical subway system, do you mean an elevator?
No, like it's a subway that literally defies gravity.
Oh, okay. That's much more interesting than an elevator.
Yeah, it's one continuous like they're trains.
Yeah, in our
our
heart
it's
campaign,
a train line.
Like I don't know if you guys like thought it was cool, but I thought my little description of like the how you're just walking along the sideway tracks and like or the subway tracks, and you just kind of have these sideways doors in the walls that like
yeah.
It
was cool, yeah. All of a sudden you snap back into like normal orientation. Yeah, the Vermissian is just this series of tunnels that defy reality, and they pierce a lot of the Spire. One of the classes, the Vermissian Sage, is all about using its sort of absurd properties to slip in and out of different parts of the Spire and find shortcuts and find all these absurd little sub places within the line, all that cool stuff. I'm sorry, but we are talking about Perch. So I feel like this place is super strapped against the wall. This, of course, being your brood house. Sinette, how do you... What is your first instinct whenever you get inside? Do you go to the brood? Do you find the midwives themselves?
I think for her, she does go to the brood. Just like her daily... She checks on them daily. Making sure they're all... making sure they're all well cared for. She's in particular is not the watcher of them. She helps more of the community than some of the other midwives. While some of the other midwives' jobs are to take care of the eggs more frequently, but she just can't help herself in checking on them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly, and that's what I was trying to nudge to. Yeah, like there's just some instinct of like you care. You just always care. Just like a maternal instinct times 100, just by like the nature of drow, I guess.
Yeah.
And I feel like the brood is in decent shape, and I feel like when you peek in, you come just in time to see another midwife hurrying away, and you can smell a hot, wet smell of a pouch splitting, or it has split as you're entering. You see a midwife carrying a slick newborn drow essentially, and kind of carrying it out into a separate chamber. And you see another midwife you immediately recognize, one Lynn, to kind of be shepherding the midwife holding this newborn baby out of the room. And she kind of watches it with pride, and then as you enter, turns to see your approach. Oh, Sinette.
Oh, what a blessing to come in when one just embraces the world for the first time now, isn't it?
As good a blessing as any can hope for. It is so good to see you, Sinette.
You too, Shin.
So, what brings you to our little brood today?
I have, well, you know me. I can't stay away for too long. But it's not the only reason I've come today. I've heard rumblings from the Solar Basilica. And normally their prattle doesn't bother me in the least bit. Let them do their nonsense, but the discourse seems to be spreading past just them. People are disappearing, apparently. Now, could just be Elf here, but how long before Drow starts disappearing too? I'm just curious, have you heard anything on this matter?
It's funny you mentioned that about Aelfir disappearing and Drow disappearing soon, too. Especially with this topic, because there's been an unfortunate visit to the brood. A mother.
Yes, what has happened? Is the brood all right?
The brood is fine, but she claims that her child was taken.
Oh, no. That's awful. From here?
From here. You may know her. Scarlet. She lives on the east side of Perch, something of a clothes mender. Takes care of many of the newborn children.
Yes. Quite sweet. I do know her.
It was her first own, and she was destroyed. If you have the time to talk to her, I would. It seems that the circumstances of the disappearance are hard to pin.
But why a child? What does a child have to do with this?
I hear rumors about this vote, but I also hear rumors about invaders of a certain kind, a religion that has no place on Pilgrim's Walk. People, heretics, that believe in some insidious, seething god. And from what I hear, they're finding sacrifices.
Oh, no. We must be more vigilant.
We must.
If this is indeed true, they will target the less fortunate. Those who no one will notice if they're gone. Us.
Always us first.
Oh. Damn it! Oh, the Elfir and their eternal machinations.
If you could speak with Scarlet, I'm sure she could use some of your warmth in this time, Sinet.
It'll be done. Thank you for this, Shin. It's given me a lot to think upon.
You're welcome. Please, come back anytime. It's always a welcome sight to see you here.
Of course. And Sinet, without any other words, walks out of the building.
Okay.
He gets outside, and she kind of just stands there for a second, just gazing off into the distance, probably at some distant horizon that can be seen from the perch. Just silent for a bit. She gives a big sigh, moves her hair out of her face, and makes her way to the edges of the perch to find Scarlet.
I feel like you can see the movement of like small crowds as you get close. Sort of like you can tell people are coming from there. And as you get closer, you probably see like there's sort of this arrangement on her doorstep of drow, like bundles and like wicker baskets filled with fruit, and like, you know, filled with baked goods and mushroom and eel, you know, like pies and that sort of thing. And yeah, you can just hear weeping from inside.
As if food can heal a broken heart. I come up to the door and I knock.
I feel like another one of the mourners kind of settles some purple heart flowers in a small vase next to the side of the door frame and watches you knock and kind of leans over and says, Miss Sinet, she won't come to the door. She won't come to the door for any of us.
Then I guess I'll just have to go in uninvited then.
Kind
and
of nods and yeah, makes their way away and continues to go ahead.
Yeah, and I'll open the door.
Yeah, it's probably not locked. I feel like drow just respect their own enough that, yeah, nobody's pushing their way in. But I think, yeah, for you, it's under your purview. And yeah, it clicks open. It's a pretty small house, pretty small hut, probably 2 rooms. And yeah, she kind of stops weeping as hard whenever you come in, but she's continuing to cry. What do you want, Sinet?
And Sinet doesn't say a single word. Walks up to her and hugs her.
Yeah, she just continues to cry into your arms for a while. I swear, Sinet, he was a paladin. I know those guns. I know what I saw. They took him. The paladins took him.
Scarlet. Oh, they say time heals all wounds. It doesn't. It'll hurt, I know. And I can't promise you that I will find him, but I will try. I'll try for you, Scarlet. If I can't, I want you to know that I will always be here for you.
Thank you, Sinet. If you can't find him, could you do something else?
Anything.
Could you find the bastard that took him and bring me his heart?
Oh, Scarlet. I will give you that and more.
Okay, fantastic. Sinet, the heart of the group, as always. Let's make our way back to Derelictus and to Spitz's, where the rest of us have finally all coagulated, and I'm going to presume, after our encounter with Scarlet, Sinet is going to make her way back to Spitz's as well. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, I feel like she found Ishve to watch over Scarlet while she was gone.
I think, yeah, you can walk Scarlet to the clinic, and Ishve takes over. Not really having to say too much. She understands what you're doing, I think.
Yep, just needs somebody near her. But yeah, then Sinet will head down to Derelictus and head down to Spitz.
Yeah, so we'll just cut to the meeting room, where for the first time everybody is seeing that there's a new grubby little face. The one. The only. Griff. What are you doing, Griff? Are you staying quiet as everybody comes in? Are you introducing yourself?
I feel like maybe Willow is like kind of introducing him to people. Like,
yeah, I don't think Griff would introduce himself. Also, Griff is back up in full red snare regalia.
Of course,
fully maxed up, trying to leave a good first impression. That he's a tough crime fighting sumbitch.
He's a dapper little boy, is what he is. He's a dapper little boy, is what he is. Oh yes.
Oh,
I think Patricia just pinches one of his cheeks.
Oh, but before Willow introduces him to people, she is like, "Do you want me to introduce you as the Red Snare, or do you want me to introduce you?
Yes,
as
please.
Griff?
Yes, please. I worked very hard on that name.
Okay.
You don't want to know the alternatives I threw away.
Okay, in time you can tell them you really... Okay, everybody, friends, this is the Red Snare. And yes, Miss Gertrude, you're right, he is a dapper young boy.
Oh, the only snare he has are his handsome little looks. Oh, what a little charmer.
That's... I'm not that little. I'm a man.
And she just gives him a little pat on the head.
The Red Snare here saved me from some unsavory sorts back in a back alley. I was rather grateful for his help.
Oh, what a noble little knight we have here, aren't you a darling?
Thank you. And who might you be?
Why, my name is Gertrude, dearie.
Lovely to meet you. I'm the Red Snare, and he strikes a really... He strikes a pose that for the first second feels very heroic, and then for every second after that second feels so goddamn doofy, and he feels so embarrassed having just done that in the middle of a dark room.
The net's kind of just staring at him with her arms crossed. Does she recognize him as a bound?
I feel like the amount of rope he has and like the way Hunter has described like the way that he's arranged it, I think all the knot work and stuff, you're like, I feel like your intuition would definitely fire off that he's probably in that ballpark.
Oh yeah, this is definitely bound work.
Well, if you look at Sinette, she's similar in a lot of ways. She has a rope-made headband, rope, wrist bracelets, and what appear to be ropes wrapped around her hips and waist as well. But she stares at you for a bit and says, "A bound? I thought I knew them all."
Oh, I kind of do my own thing. Hey, that's a cool little knot thing you got going up there. What is that? A French Senate 1 knot?
Seems you have good eyes.
Thanks. I personally, I really like doing the, if I'm going to do like a band, I like doing the 4-strand square Senate knot. But I'm also a big fan of the single rope braid and the 3-strand braid and the wall knot.
Our friend here can be quite knowledgeable, as you all can see.
He keeps going off about knots.
Like he talks for 5 minutes about knots. Everyone's silent, just staring at him as he keeps describing knots. Yeah. Just sweating profusely.
While he's talking about knots, he's like, you see that he's able to sort of like just drop string and ropes from like between his knuckles, and he's like doing that like cat's cradle thing between his fingers, and he's like doing all these like weird knots like just right in front of you. But he's just going off.
Go off, kid.
Yeah, dude.
The net just gives a light chuckle.
I definitely looked up complex knots.
As you can see, I think our friend here would be rather invaluable with all of these knots that we just spent 10 minutes listening to and seeing demonstrations of.
Oh gosh, was that just 10 minutes? I've got 30 more minutes of knot routines.
That's rather okay, friend. That really is. I think we're okay on that. You can save them for another time.
Okay.
Door opens. You have a visitor.
We all do, or what? Is it Miss Nociana?
Is here for a spooky lady with weird dog.
Oh, that would be me. Let them in.
Yes.
Thank you, Gregory.
Oh, okay.
And he makes his way out of the room, and then timidly through the frame, you see Yindwell. Dressed a little differently. You see he's dressed in a bit more of an official capacity. Kind of got a coat on, but blazer-esque. I'm still the same silver mask. And he kind of gives a nervous half bow. You see his arm still in a sling.
Oh, why hello, it's our little druid friend. How are you doing, dearie?
Seems like our half-baked threats have worked. Welcome.
Yeah.
How are you, dearie?
I'm better. I've arranged a brief audience. The extent of my powers with the Archbishop. Archdeacon, I'm sorry.
Why, thank you. Most appreciative. Have you been taking care of that arm?
Yes. To
Good.
the best extent I can. You must come with me all, quickly. The meeting begins in 30 minutes. This was not easy to arrange, and you don't have long.
Just dressed as we are. Should I change?
I probably wouldn't recommend all of you coming inside, obviously. Here.
Okay, yeah, I can chill outside.
Whoever you feel is appropriate to, kind of glances over the motley crew he has in front of him. Meet with His Majesty.
We appreciate your help, young man. Oren. Or, Willow. I think the two of you seem like, good candidates.
Well, I am quite flattered you would pick me for such a task. I will do my best to assist the group in any way I can, as always.
Yeah, sure.
I have no qualms with this.
Excellent. I've given him the cover story that you're penitent, simply looking to
ask religious questions in nature?
Well, in that case, Willow, I believe you might be a prime candidate for this mission. Oh, exciting.
Yes, I do believe this is a particular mission I will be able to handle quite well.
Well, let's make haste, shall we? The Archdeacon does not like to be made to wait.
Tally-ho,
I don't
then.
believe any of us do. Let's get going.
Yeah, and he leads you out, flicks a coin, just timidly hands a coin over to Gregory. Gregory gives a curt nod, and you guys make your way up Spire. It takes a while, maybe traveling up Spire.
I should note that
this amount of
the whole way, Gertrisa is making a note to make sure that Belvin is hanging out close enough to where this dude can always feel Belvin's breath on him.
Oh, Jesus.
Terrifying. Terrifying.
Oh, man.
You are with the terrorists, yes. Okay.
She is one spooky gilf.
Hunter, this is not that kind of
The
podcast.
spookiest.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh,
The Gilf
man.
talk is for later. That's for our after hours podcast.
That's for the fan
Oh, yeah, of
cast.
course.
Welcome to Gilf Talk.
Welcome.
Welcome to
Swan
Guild
Dive.
Talk. Hosted
Internet
our
Welcome to the
special
Guild
guest for
gang.
tonight.
Alec, stop it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, man. Oh,
You bastard.
All right. We make our way up Spire. I may leave that one in. He takes you pretty quickly. Once you're in Amaranth, through... I'm going to get a message that this is pronounced Amaranth. No, it's Amaranth. That sounds better. It takes you through Amaranth into the church district. Boom, the Solar Basilica. And so what is everybody else doing since Willow and Orin are the ones going inside?
Well, you're going to see Sinette use her second magical superpower. Yay.
Nice.
ooh.
So, as they go in, I would assume, and we have to wait outside, but Sinette's going to use the same web magic that she's been using to secure her sense of awareness to the area around her, so that she has I could just read it instead of fumbling over words. Haha. So I cast spell. I gain immediate awareness of everything in the vicinity, an area around the size of a large building, even if you can't see or hear it directly. This remains in effect until you move, or are moved, more than a step away from your position. So, she's just going to lean against the wall outside and become aware of everything that's going on inside the building.
Okay.
Fuck
So
yeah.
we're going to say the Solar Basilica is not just a large building. It is an insanely large building. But I'm going to say for the context of this spell, you're going to be able to pretty much oversee everything everything that is going to happen. Like, you're going to be able to see all of that.
Of course, I
they
do
were
have
to-
to make a
yeah.
roll, though.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Do it.
Which is a fix occult, which I do have those. Yay.
What are our domains here?
I did get a success at a cost.
Our domains are religion and high society. Yeah, awesome.
sweet.
Give me a D6 shadow.
Ooh, again.
What does that put your shadow at, my friend?
6, my friend. Give me that minor fallout.
Okay, so let's re-clarify this rule super fast, so that way we hop in, and I roll this, and I don't have to bullshit it. So, the regular dice rolling rules, right? The Fallout rules.
Fallout
Sorry, hold
rules
on,
for
let me pull-
Spire. Yes.
Yes, let me pull these up. The regular Fallout rules, of course, are that the amount of stress that you have determines the kind of Fallout that you are like you could possibly acquire. There we go. Okay.
And that's 2 to 4. You could get a minor fallout. 5 to 8, you could get a moderate fallout, and 9 plus, you get a severe fallout. We are going to play with an alternate rule set. Again, for listeners, I will be doing a standalone episode that's going to go further into kind of the system and how we approach it. But for now, just know that whenever I roll this dice, we're going to be using this same minor, moderate, severe range. But instead, it's your stress has to be that high when I roll under it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So 1d10. Unfortunately. So your stress was at a 6.
Was it a 6?
But okay, so once again, this makes sense. Since I didn't roll in that range, I'm not going to give you a moderate fallout. I'm going to give you a minor.
Okay.
Okay, so a moderate shadow fall. So yeah, you just I feel like you cast this spell and it is successful. You begin to feel your range established. But you do notice out of the corner of your eye that you are noticed. There's a man in golden armor, underneath which is, of course, white robes and elegant silken drapes over this golden plate. And he doesn't move to you, he doesn't go accost you or anything, but you can see that he's noticed you. And you definitely know the moment you see this guy, this is a paladin.
I don't think Sinette does anything but stare at him the entire time.
Hell yeah, you stare each other down.
Like, where is this person situated? Is he guarding the house, or is he...
I think he's across the street from the Basilica, because this is the biggest church, essentially, in...
Oh, yes, because we're at the Basilica. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. In the Spire. So I think you're kind of sort of like a bench outside a museum, right? That sort of thing, just relaxed. And yeah, he's probably almost like across the street, sitting at also a bench of some kind, clearly thumbing through a book, maybe a journal or a ledger. But of course, he wasn't paying attention to the ledger when you caught him. And once you start trying to stare him down, he stares back and doesn't look back at his ledger.
And that's the extent of it. You're just gonna
watch
him while watching everything else.
Yeah, I think, you two stare at each other, these two, pinpricks of stillness in this, moving sea of Aelfir and drow servants and all that good stuff. Okay, so, Snare, you gonna do anything in the meantime while our friends are talking? What do you...
Absolutely. Did you? I'm sorry. Did you describe exactly what this basilica how does this basilica look?
So I think the easiest way to approximate it, and I think the thing I'm drawing from in my own mind, is the Metropolitan Museum of Art, New York City.
Ah, yes.
That's my image. It's that's how big this is.
Yeah, just this massive, sort of almost otherworldly architecturally.
Absolutely otherworldly. The Aelfir are from these frozen northern kingdoms with all this magic that has seeped into the ground and changed everything. And so I think their architecture reflects that. Yeah, just this massive... Okay. I mean, yeah, probably even bigger than the Met. Just an unbelievably huge cathedral. And that they're meeting this archdeacon who is kind of like the Pope in a way.
Yeah.
For a brief meeting. He's like a shitty Pope. Like one of those... like one of the middle popes who smokes cigarettes. Yeah, like a cardinal. I mean, literally what I'm basing this kind of concept off of is those papal elections. Yeah, in the Renaissance, I mean, they murdered each other and stuff. There was just politics and normal corruption. It just so happened to be the papal election. So it's the most opulent building you can bring your imagination to. I think that it has fountains, but they are ice fountains, so they're pushing out these constant slurries that are freezing and breaking, and you can always kind of hear that in front of the cathedral.
Loud as shit.
The Basilica, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna posit that Griff, being in his full Red Snare regalia, just to sort of make an impression, did not think about the ramifications of then having to go into this sort of polite society area.
Of course.
So he's kind of been sticking to the shadows, just red snaring it up. And I think now that he is in this high society religious area, he is going to sort of use what his boss told him and try to try to find some religious figures chatting it up around the basilica, because he feels close to the power. Maybe the people around are, maybe talking about a little something sus.
I think you totally can follow this train of thought, and I think you end up noticing the same paladin that Sonette has noticed. Kind of noticed this sort of stare off. And after a while, I think eventually another person comes and settles down next to the paladin, who very clearly looks like they're dressed in upper ranked clergy kind of gown. Maybe they have like a not a mitre. What is that the name? A mitre, like a silk you throw over your shoulders.
No,
I think a mitre's your hat.
Yeah, mitre's the big
hat, right? That's right, giant hat. No, stole. I'm thinking of a stole. I think.
It's all Greek to me.
All religious mumbo jumbo. He just has religious garb on. Settles down next to this paladin, it looks like they start to chat fairly lively, and for once you see the paladin. Sonette, of course, you feel this breaks your gaze.
I'd love to hear what they're saying.
Alrighty, that's what I thought you'd say. Like, give me a what is our sneak equivalent in this, fellas?
Sneak.
It is just called sneak.
Enough,
Fuck yeah.
Yep, there's a sneak skill.
Yep. So that's gonna be, and I don't have domain, so I'm gonna just give that the good old 2 D10s.
Go ahead, throw them at the computer.
Okay. Ooh, that's a 7 and a 9.
Easy fucking peasy. You are able to eavesdrop on these two, no problem. It's super crowded. Amaranth, incredibly crowded district. Friendly Veilfear. Plenty of weird masked servants hiding around. So, honestly, even though you're dressed like shit, you don't stick out that much. Like, you look weird, but there's a lot of Veilfear with bizarre
I'm
fashion
definitely
tastes,
sticking to like the shadows. Maybe like clambering up into a tree. Like a I don't he. Like, if I think the rest of the party who is aware of his presence see him doing this like Pink Panther ass worming around and sneaking, but like to people who weren't looking for him, then I think it's a fairly effective camouflage.
I think so too. I think you managed to overhear a snippet of their conversation, and they are talking about a soiree later this evening. That these two fellas are getting lunch together, and now you see, especially as you are much closer, one of them is like crumpled up a bag next to him. So they've just gotten done eating lunch, and they're talking about this religious themed soiree. No, not themed, but like this religious staffed party. And you realize eventually through the course of this conversation that it's going to be held in the spiral garden of a paladin captain. Spiral gardens being these insane displays of opulence and design Aelfir spend immense sums of money to design and have created. And the primary majority of them are in Amaranth.
Okay. I hate to be nitpicky.
Go ahead.
But I really do want to. There's an appendix in this rule book. I wanna say I remember. There is some part of the appendix where it's like roll a dice to see like these strange little
yes
modifiers. There's one that is, what theme is this party?
Oh, absolutely. Let's roll on that chart.
What is the theme of this Aelfir party?
Let's roll on this chart.
Do it. It's a 4, and that is imported entirely from Red Row.
Let's go. I'm in my element.
That is Orin's element, baby. That's perfect, dude. Write that down. That's exactly what it is. All based around, it's like this. They're whispering about it in hushed tones because the Red Row theme is all about debauchery and like hedonism, and it's like a masquerade.
Oh my!
This is like
God.
that scene in Parasite where the wealthy couple. Where the wealthy couple is like role playing being poor while having
literally
sex.
That is Orin's emotional makeup right now once he finds out about this fucking party.
It's like you're too good for something, so you just make it yourself.
Red Row theme party, huh? That's pretty cool. I like that.
like I could go down to Red Row whenever I wanted to.
I definitely like hear all this. Do I catch the address? Would I be able to roll again for that privileged information, or is that just like too far of a reach?
I think it's too far of a reach. I don't think they were like, yeah, what's your social security number, by the way? Like, I feel like they're discussing like where they're going. I think you can
Now
read the
let
general
us
part of
discuss
Amaranth.
our evil plans.
But yeah, I don't think you're getting like a flat address.
Okay, but I could definitely investigate and like maybe tail them.
Yeah, you could probably tail them after this. I mean, it sounds like they're probably not going straight from where they are to there, that it's supposed to be later that evening. So, but like, if you were to tail them all fucking day, like Rorschach style, yeah, you could totally figure out where this is.
Then I'm just gonna like keep that under my hat. Yeah, I guess that's what I do.
I think Gertrisa is our whatchamacallit? Is our druid friend staying outside?
Yeah. No, he's not. He's going in. He's showing them in.
Okay. Yeah, in that case, yeah, I think Gertrisa's just kind of hanging out next to Sinette, just patting on Belvin.
Awesome. Yeah, Yindwell leads you straight through the doors of the Basilica, which are open. It's not like this is it's like a Catholic church, right? The cathedral. You can go in and pray at the altar if you need. But there are, of course, endless side rooms and sub-churches and sub-rooms where, varying religious activities go on. I don't have to describe that. And yeah, he leads you... It begins to lead you up some stairs, unless you're doing any investigation or anything.
I was going to ask if you could give us just like a quick, brief recap on what we know about the Solar Basilica so far. They're just like a split-off faction of the
No.
Okay.
Solar Basilica is the mainstream.
Okay.
Yeah, Solar Basilica is like Rome. It's the center of solar pantheon worship in the Spire.
Okay. Yeah. And so the guy that we're looking for, so the Deacon Heralds-the-Sunrise, he's just like a member of this.
Yeah, and he's a deacon, so he's like a cardinal equivalent, right?
Okay.
And yeah, the guy you guys are talking to is the Archdeacon, who of course is sort of Pope equivalent.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so you guys go up some spiral staircases, real thin and winding. Have to pass through some guard checkpoints. You guys can't bring your weapons in. They're gonna pat you down.
Dope. Fuck. I knew I should have taken the fucking concealable knife.
Yeah.
Brass knuckles. Alright.
Is there any way for us to tell before we go in that they're going to pat us down? Or
Yeah,
is this
absolutely.
kind of like a surprise thing?
Absolutely. You'll know as you're going in. You're like, oh, I probably can't bring any sort of weaponry in here. Because weaponry is illegal in general.
Yeah.
Bladed weaponry and guns, but the stuff that you have, like your gun, completely illegal.
Yeah, I know. That's why. Okay. I think I'm going to walk up to Gertrisa before I go in. And
Yeah.
Like, Miss Gertrisa, would you mind perhaps holding on to something delicate for me?
Oh, no trouble.
I can't let anybody see it.
No trouble at all, dearie.
And, it's a very personal possession of mine, so please don't let anything happen to it. And she sort of slips the gun as discreetly as she can into Gertrisa's hand.
Yeah, Gertrisa just kind of puts it in her big-ass backpack that she's always carrying.
Yeah, same with Orin. He's just gonna kind of walk up and be like, you hold this, please? I think I might get thrown in jail if I walk into, the Solar Basilica holding this shitty old revolver.
No trouble at all, dear.
And, yeah, same spiel.
Okay, so yeah, you pat down, and you make your way into the most opulent fucking I almost said the Louvre, but that's not Versailles. Like Versailles, Rococo, a beautiful office you've ever seen in your life. Just gold leafing, clearly hand-painted fresco ceiling leading into the office, and the office itself. It's a diminutive little desk, a modest desk, but you can clearly see it's gold-rimmed. Inset marble, just absolute opulent elegance with just the barest play pretend at modesty. And yeah, sitting at this tiny desk is a surprisingly small drow, Archdeacon Win Many Sows the Seedlings. He raises his head, sees one Yindwell, and Yindwell gives a curt bow. The penitents, my lord. And Wendell raises a little wizened claw and waves you two forward.
Greetings, my friend. My name is Breeze Through the Willow, though you may call me Willow.
Ah, well, it is a pleasure to meet you, Willow. I am Archdeacon Wynn. Many sows the seedlings. Now, what brings you to my humble office?
Well, my friend and I are interested in hearing a bit more about what it is you people with the faith here, your standard strictures. Please forgive me if I'm a bit anxious. You see, I'm not from around here in the Spire, and I would love to get more in touch with, my people's culture. I must say, it surprises me a bit to see a drow behind the desk, in a good way, I must add. I'm not quite like a lot of people, a lot of my peers.
Well, my position here has been hard won through years of prejudice. I assure you, I follow the faith just as admirably as your own people. Are you from the north?
I see you've taken note of my old north accent. Quite perceptive of you.
It is unmistakable. I've spent time there myself, you know.
Did you? Whereabouts?
A simple little village. A bit of a vocational training.
Well, if it's personal, I won't press you for more details than you're comfortable with.
No, simply a boring old story about a boring old man.
I have an ability as the Inksmith that's nose for trouble. Once per scene, I can ask the GM what's weird or out of place here. So yeah, what is weird or out of place here?
Yeah, I think it is that Wynn is, disturbingly kind. Like, he just doesn't seem like the person he should be. Like, his kindness, much in the flavor of, like, this evangelical thing I think all of us in the South are familiar with, is like you can feel it's a veneer.
Okay, yeah. It's definitely that, like, fake hospitality of, like, underneath just seething.
Yeah, and if he's not seething, he just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just trying to put on the veneer of benevolent, overwhelming love and kindness.
Nothing in there.
Yeah, it's just it's gonna ring like a bell if you smack him.
Okay, alright.
Smile doesn't reach his eyes type.
That's good.
That's my boy, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I feel like Willow leans forward a little. She's like, now, listen here, brother man, we can cut all the crap if you like. I can tell you're not exactly one for the pleasantries, and I find myself growing tired of it too, although normally I do make room for those sorts of things. I'd like to know if we can know a little bit more about someone named Heralds-the-Sunrise.
Fuck. You crazy woman. Give me a compel.
Okay.
Goodness.
Okay.
She's going
Just
right
go
for the
for
I
the-
feel
jugular.
like it should be risky or
It
something. Because,
Absolutely will be difficulty 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this is not a safe condition to be doing this.
No, it
Fuck
is not.
me. Fuck me.
Hey, tell me about your conspiracy.
Or you know your domains?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Damn. That's a success. Of course that's a success. Yeah, I feel like you push forward, you say this, and he rocks back into his chair. And then the kind of smile doesn't go away, but you can see something drain out of his eyes, clearly. Well, you are certainly bold. You want to know about Deacon Sunrise?
If there's anything you can tell me about him.
So I suppose you aren't actually penitents. Here come to seek my guidance.
Maybe not. Maybe we are. Maybe we're just extra curious.
Deacon seeks my position on the council.
Is that so?
Yes, it is so. And I shouldn't be telling you this. I shouldn't be telling you any of this.
Just know I have no interest in Deacon Sunrise and the rancid little games him and his companions are getting up to.
His companions, eh? I don't suppose there's anything you might be able to tell us about them. Why, if they're getting in your way, perhaps there's some way we could help you with your little problem.
He's a heretic. I know it.
Do you have any proof?
No. No, I don't. Nor does anyone else.
You know of any way somebody might be able to garner some proof?
Who are you people?
Isn't that a wonderful question? I think you've given us enough information that... Honestly, I think we might be on our way from now on.
Do you know how easily I can make it so the moment you walk out of here, somebody turns you into a shish kebab?
Sure.
You could.
You won't.
Why would you do that? Have 2 people murdered in broad daylight over what? Asking weird questions? Knowing somebody's name that you didn't like them knowing?
You are stepping on exceptionally powerful toes.
It's a rather cushiony place to step.
And he just stares at both of you, memorizing your faces.
I mean, I'm wearing a mask, but...
Oh, you're wearing a mask. Memorizing your mask.
Well, if there's nothing else you can tell us, friend, I do believe that brings our little meeting to a close.
Huh.
I don't understand the hostility, my dear friend. I just wanted some information is all.
Problem, my dear, is that you're in my office, calling the Archdeacon your friend, trying to pry information out of me. That is awfully sensitive. And he starts to stand up from his chair.
Well, just think of it as a conversation. Isn't one of the things you lovely folk do here confessionals? Why, forgive me if I got a bit overzealous and overstepped some boundaries. As I've said before, I'm not from around here.
You're not from around here. That's precisely why I'm so anxious about you poking your nose into my business.
I'm just a curious little girl.
And what is this curious little girl's name?
I told you before, didn't I? Right whenever I walked into your office. It's a bit insulting that you wouldn't remember.
I'm sorry. It escapes me in my age.
Well, then, if it seems that I'm not going to be getting any more information out of you, so perhaps I'll just leave? I do think that, as I said earlier, I don't think that you're going to be killing us in broad daylight in front of everybody over such a small trifle.
No. No, I won't. And he sits back down. And he looks over at Oren. What say you, my stalwart friend? Your companion has done her damage.
Let me put it like this, brother man. Done a lot of work. Done a lot of bootlicking. You've done a lot of climbing. You've gone up each and every social rung. But I imagine at some point you were where I am.
Where is that?
At the bottom, friend. And I think you know just as well as I. You sit cushy. Up here in the Solar Basilica, you have as much opulence as any man could ever ask for. But me? My friend Willow here?
Hi.
Not so much. You sit here at the top of the ladder in your cushy little chair behind your nice little desk, and you can do little but worry. And listen to the rumors that flit their way through the countless rooms in this cathedral. Must feel awful powerless despite all the work you've done after all these years, but we have the benefit of being in the thick of it. We are the rumors. We are the whisperers. So, I hope you'll understand when I speak from a purely tactical standpoint. Does it really make any sense to have the two people that come to you in good faith, risking everything, knowing very well that you could give a single order, snap a single finger, and have us killed, or tailed, have our families killed, our friends? Don't you think it means something that we would come to you asking about this and potentially offering aid? I think you're a smart enough man to have gotten this far that you should know if you're going to have an enemy, you might as well assemble as many allies as you can.
Well, perhaps you should do the talking from now on.
Well, now, come on. What I did was cool, okay? It was good. I'm good at talking. You liked it. You were intimidated. I saw your face. Don't you lie to me.
What do you have to offer me?
I don't know about protection. You've got the paladin's golden armor.
Exactly.
Weapons. But I can offer you help. I can offer you information.
With Sunrise.
Of course.
Finally sits back down.
Isn't that what I already said? I mean, come on. You're saying I'm bad at talking and not even listening to... Nobody listens to old Willow. I'm just over here in the corner.
Don't listen to him, Willow. He's being a jerk. He's just being mean.
You want to deal with Sunrise? Well... I don't think I have any more information for you. But I won't dispose of you. And if you are to make a bit of a ruckus, causing my Sunrise issue to go away, perhaps I know the strings to pull to make sure nobody looks.
Well then, hope our little agreement can get us somewhere, huh?
Fine. Out.
It's been a pleasure. I'll give him a little smart-ass bow. Just for good measure, I'm gonna declare that I have the High Society domain with, what ability is it? Force of Personality.
Okay, yeah. Force...
Anyway.
Force of Nature, High Society domain. Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, gonna get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I think... Willow, are you doing anything on exit?
Yeah, no, she's just like, have a wonderful day. I do apologize if bringing up that name was a sore spot. Goodbye.
Yeah.
God damn it.
But luckily you managed to slip out of the basilica itself. Not unnoticed, but unaccosted. To find your friends gathered, or your compatriots gathered outside of the entrance.
I think we handled that rather smoothly.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, he was kind of a simpering weird little shrivel. I didn't like him one bit. Had that weird fake hospitality that you sort of, you know, it's just empty and, ugh.
I saw.
Oh.
That was a very good job you did, Oren.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Well,
I
thank
also
you.
saw. I was totally seeing that. Whatever
I
happened?
don't know how you all were listening in on this, you peeping toms.
I'm sure you just forgot to also say thank you, Willow, in that last part, so, you know, you're welcome.
And of course, Sinette, you
Willow.
managed to see all of it, yeah.
Yes. Willow, you also did a marvelous job.
Thank you.
Both of you.
Thank you. Actually, that means a
And
lot,
B.
because, you know, I was feeling really insecure about what happened back there. You know, I went into that really confident, you know, and I thought it was going to be a really cool move, and then after I said it, I was like, why did I say that? And thank you. I knew I was in charge the entire time.
Yeah, you go, Willow. You kicked butt.
Did
is
you
what
see
you did.
this too? Somehow?
Totally. I was up there, you know, just spying around, just making sure.
Yeah.
Doing my thing.
Well, okay there. Red Snare. That's good. That's good for you.
So,
You know, just in case, like, anything were to pop off. Like, I was
Off.
there.
Yeah,
I was ready.
no. Thanks for the
Yeah.
backup.
True, I saw it all.
No problem. Anytime.
Anyways, Willow, what you did was dangerous and risky, but you did a good job of it.
I still
Thank you,
have
Snap.
no clue what we're talking about.
Oh, That's okay.
But I agree that
I'll fill you in later.
But I agree that I'm sure you both did splendidly.
Do you think I could have my gun back, please?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Me too.
Oh, yes, no worries.
She just kind of takes off her backpack and like fumbles through it. She pulls out like a pouch full of snacks and like a water skin, maybe like some sewing needles or something. I don't know, just granny shit, you know?
Yeah.
Oh man, peanut butter crackers.
Oh, don't eat those right now, Sonny.
Okay.
And eventually she hands you both your weapons.
Thank you.
Thank
Sort
you.
of sighs a little sigh of relief, pats the gun, puts it back in her holster.
I believe it is time to exit this place before undue eyes
Yeah, we
wander
should
upon
leave.
us.
Yes, I would also
You
like
should
to not
leave.
stay here as long as I would like to not tarry.
Yes, let's get somewhere safe, and then we can have our peanut butter crackers.
Oh boy.
Yes,
I love peanut butter crackers.
yes, indeed.
Who doesn't?
That's why I packed them, silly.
Thank you for joining us on this, our second episode of Swan Dive. And if you've been with us since episode 1, thank you for bearing with the audio quality of the previous iteration. Hopefully from here on out, this will be a bit more consistent. Of course, we've had a cast change this week. We wish the best to Randy, and hope everybody enjoys the inclusion of my good friend Hunter. We've known each other for a long dang time. I hope you can join us next week, this time on Tuesdays, for the rest of Swan Dive.